Hey guys, how's it going? It's Self-Dev. Welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about giving some advice for people who are considered to be very helpful or overly helpful with others. So in Enneagram this might be a strong characteristic of Enneagram 2 and maybe Enneagram 9 as well. And it also has a strong correlation between high FE users in MBTI and maybe even high FI users as well, if they want to be seen as someone who's good, or if they are maybe insecure with feeling selfish. So basically, um, most of you probably already know some of the cons and the weaknesses of being too helpful and too at the beck and call of other people. Um, Usually the explanation is something like you're draining your own resources, although if you're, as I said, a high FE user or an Enneagram 2, you don't really have resources to be drained, if that makes sense. And if anything, you are more energized by helping people. So, so basically, the main point is that there is something called homeostasis in the ego, and basically, what it is it is basically the subconscious mind's way of keeping its identity. So it's kind of protecting its identity, and regardless of what functions you use or what enneagram you are, it will be storing past experience and using that as a way of seeing what its identity is and trying to keep that secure and stable. So basically, that is homeostasis, but we are talking about what I tend to refer to as other person homeostasis, or second, third person homeostasis. So basically, people can get used to the kind of person you are. So if you're always helpful, if you're always even just like happy or positive, like if you're in one way or another positive, a positive influence in someone else's life, and they will get used to that, then if you change that way of your behavior around them, even if it's just briefly, then they might get shocked by it because they're not used to seeing this side of you. And this might not be too much of a problem, but if you are in a close relationship with this person and then you start reacting extremely, which is out of character for you, then you could risk a breakup or a huge fallout, and there could even be regrets for the actions that might happen due to this happening. So to avoid this, to avoid breaking the other person homeostasis, what you need to do is occasionally let go of wanting to be too helpful, too good for this other person, and occasionally let loose things that you don't want to do. So sometimes in life, the best thing to do is to do what you don't want to do. And it might sound counterintuitive, but you will thank me later, because you can't always be this great person around other people. Even if you want to, it's just not realistic, and you will fall short now and again. So if you kind of slowly even if it's on purpose, then you can sometimes just show this person that you aren't all great like you seem to be. So, and I guess this could be advice for any future potential relationships you're going to enter, because if you're great at pleasing people and trying to be attractive to them, then you might win them earlier on, and that's kind of fooling them into thinking you're like this all the time. So this is, I'm sort of leaning into a general concept of why relationships fail earlier on, because when you're like in the earlier dates, you tend to show off the absolute best side of yourself, and obviously that side isn't something that will be constant and happening all the time in the future of the relationship. So you don't want to mislead people. So people will get used to the kind of character you are, and as long as you show multiple sides of you earlier on, then you won't shock them and risk a breakup or a big fallout, or like if you're like, you will make it will make it harder for you to like say no if you're a people pleaser, when you usually say yes when they ask for something from you, and then you say no, but you say no because you've realized that it strategically makes sense in the situation, but the other person will be shocked at you saying no to them, and they might have an emotional reaction to that, and they might be really upset about that, and they will probably have a more upset reaction than someone who is not saying yes to them or helping them all or most of the time, because they are not used to that person saying yes all the time, helping them all the time. So yeah, homeostasis, other person homeostasis, it's a concept I've come up with after learning about homeostasis and ego and survival mechanisms, and of course experience with helping others, sometimes too much. I don't usually have too much of a problem with that. If something is more of a disadvantage to me, if I do help them, then I don't usually help them if I really can't, but usually I have the energy to help them. So it's not really been too much of a problem for me, but even saying that, it can be quite hard to just say no when you are actually rewarded when you do help someone, or you give them advice, or you have an opportunity to make them happy, even if it gets in the way of things with you. Because when you're a type like me, you don't really have this ego reward when something serves you more than other people. So that's an insight. If you're not someone like that, then I hope you've learned something there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Hope you like, subscribe, comment, share, click the bell, and all of those things. And I'll see you in the next video. Hope you have an awesome day and an amazing life.